Hey everyone, I'm back and today we're going to be talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and this movie's out on Netflix and it came out like a few days ago, and it's a sequel, a direct sequel, ignoring everything in between this movie and the original movie, and I haven't seen anything that has been released in between the original movie and this movie, so I'm just going to judge both of these movies as standalone movies. Well, I'm mostly going to talk about this new one because I have a lot to say about it. But to sum up the original, I reviewed it already, so if you want to check that out, go right ahead. But overall, I really love the original. I think it's really great, especially what it's going for. And this new one is, in many ways, the antithesis of the original. It's just trying to do or capture what made the original work in ways, but failing in every way, and it was really bad. But despite it being really bad, it was very funny at the same time, unintentionally funny, and that made the experience worth it. And this movie is about as long as the original, like 80 something minutes, so it's nice and short, and the laughs don't really get started until Leatherface starts killing people in this movie. And when he kills people, it's very entertaining. And there's plenty of fun gore in this movie that I really liked, and that was probably the best part of the movie for me, honestly. And it was entertaining throughout. I wasn't really bored for the most part. And whenever it's CG blood, it looks kind of bad and noticeable. And that's the only thing about the violence that I don't really like, is that the CG blood looks terrible. But at least it makes it entertaining as to, like, what are you doing? And this movie just goes all out into the violence, and there's tons of blood. There's, like, whenever Leatherface is killing someone, it's very satisfying whenever they die, because all of the characters in this movie are really unlikable and just horrible human beings that I don't want to see, and you get to see them get killed in brutal ways, and it's fun. And there is a scene on a bus where Leatherface is killing everyone on this bus, and it was the funniest thing in the world to me because of how over the top it was. And the acting was so bad, and everyone's just like pounding on the windows, they're trying to get out, but no one attempts to open the windows. Except for like one girl who tries to get out, and she's like one of the last people to try and get out of the bus, but Leatherface just cuts her in half, and half of her body gets cut off, and she's like, half of her is in the bus, half of her is not. And that was very funny. And there are a lot of things that just do not make any sense. And in this movie, for whatever reason, Leatherface, like, teleports somehow? As far as I know, he's not a supernatural entity in the first movie. And this movie is supposed to be ignoring everything that happened in between the first movie and this movie. So, Leatherface is just a dude, right? He's not, like, a zombie or anything. He's not, like, a super strong existence, from what I know. But in this movie, he's like the Hulk, basically. He can just like punch people really far away and like throw them like 30 feet away, and at one point he jabs his chainsaw into someone's stomach and just like lifts them up into the air. And it's so goofy and ridiculous. And also, going back to teleportation and why I brought it up, there are points in this movie where Leatherface can just sneak up on people without making a sound. And in scenes where he walks, like in a house, for instance, he walks very loudly, and you can hear him coming by, and in certain scenes, he just appears out of nowhere without making a sound, and it just doesn't make sense. Like, was he tiptoeing really quietly? Because even if he was, I don't buy the fact that he was able to appear in a certain position without making a sound because he's such a big guy, and I just don't believe it. And I haven't even gotten into the performances in this movie, which I didn't think were very good at all. And everyone's line delivery was like really flat, and their facial expressions were just like non-existent. Like they could say anything and their face would be exactly the same. And the only times it's like noticeable that they're trying is like when they're supposed to be in a scene where a lot is happening and they're about to fight against Leatherface, and they're at least trying, but I still don't think it's good. And towards the end of the movie, it kind of reminded me of Terminator 2 in one specific way, like shooting a shotgun at Leatherface, and he like almost still falls into water like right behind him, but it doesn't because the shotgun is out of ammo. And at one point, one of the girls who has like really curly hair, like her hair was wet, and it just reminded me of Ripley from the Alien universe. And that was really distracting. And this movie also brings back Sally, I think is the character's name from the first movie. It's not played by the same actress because unfortunately she passed away. I can't remember her name. And while I like the idea of bringing back a character from the first movie into this movie, she just doesn't have anything to do, really. And all she does in the movie is just shoot at Leatherface with a shotgun. And that's all she does in the movie. And the rest of the time, she's just exploring things that we already know. Like, there's a scene in this movie where Leatherface is cutting off a dead woman's face and putting it on his face so that he is Leatherface. And later, Sally just explores this incident where this whole thing happened, and we see like the aftermath of everything that we were already shown, even though we pretty much saw everything, and things could have been left up to interpretation as to how brutal it would be. But the movie just decides to just show you as to what this woman would look like without a face, and so they show it, and it's not scary because it doesn't leave anything up to the viewer's mind as to how that would look. So that was really lame. And another thing that I really did not like about this movie is that it tries to give you answers about every little detail that should be left up to interpretation from the first movie. It's just answered in this movie for no reason. Like, Leatherface actually cuts off people's faces and puts them on his face, and now you have that answered for you. And remember towards the end of the first movie where Leatherface had like makeup on? Well, it turns out he actually puts makeup on his face. I bet you didn't know that. And his chainsaw, it's just in the wall. He just breaks the wall down and gets his chainsaw out of there. And correct me if I'm wrong, I remember in the first movie where every character who died was killed off because Leatherface and his family were trying to just have people for dinner and to just eat them because they're cannibals and that's what they eat. And in this movie, Leatherface is like the only person from his family left. And it just leaves the question, why is he killing people? Because he's not really killing people because he has nothing better to do. It's because that's what his family wants him to do. And he's just manipulated by people into doing that. And that made sense to me in the original, but Leatherface is the only one left. It's like, he doesn't have to kill people. It's like he's just killing people out of vengeance for his mother or whoever is taking care of him. I think that's what's happening. I think it was his mother. I could be wrong on that. There's just a lot about this movie that doesn't make any sense. It's not very well executed, but it was very funny. I'm glad I watched it. And unlike Dune, where even though I enjoyed the second half of this movie a lot. It was very funny. The first half of this movie, I wouldn't say it's painfully boring or anything. It was just like, okay, this is happening, this is happening. This is bad, but it is what it is. And once it gets really funny, it just flies by for me. I would have it no other way. So much fun. I would watch this movie again. And I would recommend that you check this movie out as a so bad it's good movie. I think it's hilarious. But going back to the point that I wanted to make, I would rewatch this movie over Dune from 1984, where the first half of the movie was really funny, unintentionally funny, and the second half was really boring. And unlike Dune, I will rewatch this movie because it was really funny and it's nice and short, whereas Dune, it's way too long for me to even consider rewatching it. Even if it was funny throughout, I'm more likely to rewatch this, and I would recommend you check this movie out as a so bad it's good movie. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Texas Chainsaw Massacre a 2 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Licorice Pizza, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, so look forward to that. But until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of oh my god. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Texas Chainsaw Massacre down below. I'm trying not to say it down below so many times.